Welcome back to NightStoryHQ, where we journey into the forgotten, the unexplained, and the chilling mysteries that time refuses to bury. Tonight, we travel back more than 4 centuries to the windswept shores of North Carolina, where an entire English colony vanished without a trace. No survivors, no bodies, no answers. Only a single word carved into weathered wood: CROATOAN. This is the haunting tale of the lost colony of Roanoke. In the year 1587, a group of 115 English men, women, and children set sail across the Atlantic, chasing a dream of new beginnings in the so-called New World. They were led by a man named John White, an artist and friend to Sir Walter Raleigh, the ambitious nobleman backing the expedition. These settlers were not the first to arrive on Roanoke Island, but they were the first to attempt permanent colonization. Unlike earlier, more militarized efforts, this group included families, people seeking homes, not just conquest. Among them was White's own daughter, Eleanor, who was pregnant at the time of the voyage. Not long after they landed, Eleanor gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. Her birth was a moment of hope and celebration, a symbol of England planting roots in a distant land. But Roanoke Island was harsh, and reality did not match their dreams. The land was wild, unfamiliar, and difficult to farm. Relations with nearby Native American tribes quickly became strained. The settlers found themselves short on supplies, vulnerable, and isolated. Desperate to save the colony, John White agreed to return to England to gather reinforcements and provisions. He left behind his family, his community, and a promise. He would return swiftly. But as fate would have it, England was under threat. The Spanish Armada was preparing to invade, and all available ships were called to defend the homeland. For 3 long years, White was unable to return. When he finally did, in August of 1590, he landed on Roanoke Island full of dread and anticipation. But what he found was not relief, only confusion and silence. The colony had vanished. The houses had been dismantled, not destroyed. There were no signs of violence, no bodies, no graves. It was as if the settlers had simply walked away. The only clue was a single word carved into a post: CROATOAN. There was no cross or distress symbol carved beneath it, as White had instructed the settlers to leave if they were in danger. Just that one word, etched with care, seemingly left behind as a message. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island, modern-day Hatteras Island, and home to a tribe known to be on friendly terms with the English. White believed the colonists had relocated there and tried to launch a search. But fierce storms and the reluctance of his ship's captain forced him to abandon the mission. John White returned to England heartbroken. He would never see his daughter or granddaughter again, and the fate of the lost colony would become one of history's most enduring mysteries. Many theories have been proposed over the centuries, but none have ever provided a definitive answer. The most widely accepted explanation is that the colonists sought refuge with the CROATOAN tribe. In later years, explorers and settlers reported seeing Native Americans with gray eyes, speaking English, or living in villages where English-style tools and customs were used. These reports fueled the belief that the colonists had assimilated into local tribes, surviving by blending in. But no archaeological evidence has ever conclusively proven this theory. Other scholars believe the settlers may have moved inland, seeking better land and greater safety. John White's original map of Virginia includes faint markings, possibly indicating a second settlement site, far from the original location. Excavations at these inland locations have uncovered English artifacts from the right time period, including fragments of pottery, tools, and weapons. But once again, the evidence is circumstantial. Another possibility is that the colonists split into smaller groups, hoping to survive separately. Alone and vulnerable, they may have succumbed to starvation, disease, or conflict with hostile tribes. Without leadership and unity, they could have disappeared one by one into the wilderness. And then, there are the darker, more chilling theories. Some believe the colony was attacked, not by the Spanish or Native Americans, but by something older, something unknown. Local tribes spoke of ancient spirits in the woods, of curses that predated the arrival of Europeans. The forests around Roanoke were thick and silent, full of stories whispered in the dark. Could it be that something supernatural happened on Roanoke Island? What makes this idea more unsettling is the recurring appearance of the word CROATOAN in later disappearances. The legendary author Edgar Allan Poe, before his mysterious death in 1849, is rumored to have whispered the word on his deathbed. In 1937, it was allegedly found scrawled in the final diary entry of Amelia Earhart before her plane vanished. The word turned up again in the belongings of horror writer Ambrose Bierce, who disappeared without a trace in Mexico. Even the infamous outlaw Black Bart had it etched into the bedpost of the room where he was last seen. Could the word itself carry a curse? Or was it merely coincidence, magnified by fear and imagination? Some theorists suggest that John White and the original settlers were part of something deeper than colonization. They claim that CROATOAN was a code, not a clue, a signal, that Raleigh's expedition may have included spies, or that the colonists intentionally vanished to hide something or escape from someone. Supporting this idea is a recent analysis of White's map, which revealed a concealed symbol beneath a paper patch, possibly marking a secret location inland. That symbol, invisible to the naked eye for centuries, sparked renewed hope that the final resting place of the colonists might one day be found. But as of today, no definitive answer has been discovered. And maybe that's what makes the Roanoke story so haunting. This was not just a failed colony. This was a disappearance, an entire community swallowed by time. And the silence left behind feels heavier than any battlefield. As we walk through history's long corridors, we occasionally come across rooms where the lights are dim and the answers are locked away. Roanoke is one such room. We peer in, searching for movement, for sound, for meaning. But the only thing that ever speaks back is the wind. And still we search. Because this mystery is more than just a story. It's a reflection of our fear of the unknown, our desire to make sense of the senseless, to bring back the lost and give them a voice. Perhaps the settlers of Roanoke lived on, in ways we cannot measure. Perhaps they became part of the land itself, their blood and stories flowing through the roots of the trees and the tides of the sea. Or perhaps they were taken. Not by man, but by something we still don't understand. And if that's the case, then the word CROATOAN was never meant to lead us. It was a warning, a name spoken in the last moments before silence. As you lie awake tonight, think of Roanoke, of the settlers standing on the shore, waving farewell to John White, never knowing they would be remembered only for their disappearance. Think of the silence they left behind. And listen, because sometimes silence is the loudest story of all. Thank you for joining us on NightStoryHQ. If this mystery gripped your imagination, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with those who love the unknown. What do you believe happened to the lost colony? Let us know in the comments. We read them all. Until next time, keep your lights low, your questions open, and remember, some stories vanish without an ending, but that doesn't mean they're gone. Good night.